pace. This is going to be one of those game-changing episodes.
Like, what? How does that happen?
Why aren't more people flocking into this?
Wow. If you're listening, folks, you can make some dough.
Guys, welcome to Get Creative. It is Monday evening, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Arizona time. We go live on the YouTube channel. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, which gets uploaded daily, a couple of things I want you to know. Number one, we have decided to actually do 7 episodes a week of the podcast. 6 of the episodes are actually success stories of other people in my community that are winning it on a big level. People that are brand new even. People that have been doing it for 2 years. People have been doing it for 3 or 4 years. People that have been started like 6 months ago that are like halfway through their journey. Some of the stories that you're going to hear are people that are like, I was doing this one path and then I decided I didn't want to do that path anymore. I converted to a different path and now I'm winning in that path too. A lot of great success stories. So if you're looking for connecting with people inside of my community, SubTo, Gator, Top Tier TC. We call it the Creative University, all 3 of our communities in one place, the Creative University. Somebody did say Pace University, but then I was like, nah, dude, there's a New York school that has that, so we can't steal that. A couple of things going on very, very soon. We have the Squad Up Summit coming where you can not only see myself speak, I'll be running the event, it's a 3-day event, but you'll meet my SubTo community in person, the Gator community in person, Top Tier TC community. That's all one community. You will be able to meet people that are doing deals. You'll hire people. You'll raise money. You'll find your business partners. You'll find people that will bring the missing gaps of your business to the table, and you will meet them in person. This is happening April 23rd, 24th, 25th in Orlando, Florida. I will be there. Obviously, it's my event. And you will be able to hang out. You'll see Grant Cardone speak. He's coming out. I just got a text message from him today confirming that he'll be out there. We've got Cody Sanchez and a couple of other amazing speakers. You'll be able to meet a lot of these people. But more important, who cares about the speakers? We care about the people that are going to be sitting next to us and the way that we get crowd participation, the people in the room working with each other and finding each other's missing components and basically puzzle piecing each other together. So Squad Up Summit, not January, April 23rd, 24th, 25th. The night before is my wife's birthday. So we'll be doing a little pre-launch bash. I look forward to seeing everybody in Orlando for Squad Up Summit. So go to squadupsummit.com. Now to the show. We've got a special guest here today. We've got, what I've been doing with Get Creative the last couple of weeks is highlighting individuals who are maybe stuck or maybe need a little bit more attention. They might be thinking they want to go down this path. They need a little bit more advice. And tonight we have a beautiful human being named January. And January, it's ironic that the month is also January. We get to hang out and we get to chat about where you're stuck and what you want to accomplish. So January, tell me a little bit more about you. Say hi to the audience.
Hey, everyone. Hi. Thank you so much for bringing me on. I'm excited to be here. I've been in the SubTo community for 10 months. I was a TC from the get-go. I just, I watched the avatar videos before I joined SubTo, the YouTube videos, and TC really spoke to me. And so that was what I jumped in right away, started doing right away. That's been an incredible blessing to our family, a skill that I will now have for the rest of my life. I love it, but it's an active business. And so to really get into that wealth building mode, I know I need passive business. And so my husband and I, we keep on telling each other, we're just about to the top of the roller coaster. We can just feel that breakthrough is about to come. Mm-hmm. And so we're excited for that breakthrough, but we're just like, how can we get there?
Okay, cool. Let's talk about that. So January, you're saying, hey, I joined the SubTo community 10 months ago. And because you had some experience as a TC, you started doing TC work for SubTo students, Gator students, et cetera. and making some active income inside of the community, which is great. That's what the TC avatar does. I automatically think you're missing a couple of things, and I hope that that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I already can identify a few things that will give you a pathway to passive income.
All right.
Do you have any other job besides being a TC?
No, for the last 20 years, actually, I've been a stay-at-home homeschool mom to our 6 kids.
The best. Okay, cool. So are your kids now grown up to a point where you have a little bit more freedom now?
They are. My youngest is 9, and so their homeschool lessons are a lot more self-guided. So,
okay. So January. Here's what I always say to transaction coordinators. I think transaction coordination, let's identify what transaction coordination is for a moment and what the traditional world, not the creative world, thinks of transaction coordinators, okay? And then I'll tell you what I think a transaction coordinator is, not just from, hey, yes, they should be doing creative finance stuff and amplifying their tool belt, but I have another layer above it, and I think you might know where I'm going with it. But let's just at least follow the path to make sure that we leave no stone unturned on the pathway. Okay.
Awesome.
So transaction coordinators, typically in the old way of doing things, they typically worked for a real estate team and they had 5, 6, 7 real estate agents using that one transaction coordinator at a time. When some of these real estate agents got really busy, they would basically poach that transaction coordinator, say, hey, come work for me dedicated. And then that team that had that TC before would have to go and find another one. And this goes on and on and on and on. And transaction coordinators, I would say, are kind of limited because now they're working on a team and nobody has identified, up until me and Molly, nobody's identified the power and the strength of a transaction coordinator up until probably the last 24 months since I came out with the Avatar series. And I told people, hey, transaction coordinators are powerful. And it's not just because of what they know and what they bring to the table. It's because of their personality types and what they should be learning, and that they should build the table, not bring something to the table. They should build the table. And I think that's what we need to talk about tonight. So that's what a transaction coordinator is. They help the transactions in real estate go all the way to the end zone. They're basically the running backs. They're the ones that are taking the ball and they're like, I am taking this all the way to the end zone. I'm going to make sure this transaction gets completed. They're talking to the buyers. They're talking to the bank. They're talking to the trustee, the title company, the escrow officer. They're talking to the private money lender. They're talking to the actual hard money lender, the bank. They're talking to the loan officer. Maybe they're talking to the underwriter, the processor. You're basically doing what a title company is being paid to do, but never actually does, right?
Right.
And you're like, man, if title companies and escrow officers actually did what they were paid to do, transaction coordinators would be out of like 50% of their work. Okay.
Yeah.
So just for you guys to know, once you get into the business, escrow officers, here's how it works. I own a title company, so I know how this works. We want to have as little manpower on our title company or our escrow office as humanly possible, because that's human labor. If I can get one escrow officer to do 60 files a month instead of having 2 do 60 files a month, that's an extra like $5,000 to $7,000 to the bottom line that I can make. So what happens naturally is the industry has always had this massive gap of people doing the work, and the agents get overwhelmed. They get to a point where they have 2 or 3 listings or 2 or 3 buyers, and they're overwhelmed, and there's deals in transaction, and the title company and the escrow officer are not giving updates, and it's chaos. Here comes the transaction coordinator. That's the glue. It's basically the spokes on the wheel of a bike. It's like you connect the entire circle. You make sure everything happens. So much money can be made as a transaction coordinator, except when you're on a team and also when you only work for investors. So this is where I'm heading. So that's transaction coordination, the way it's always been.
Yeah.
24 months ago, 36 months ago, I started talking about how transaction coordinators have helped me in the creative finance space. And I said at one point, we will open up a wing of our community dedicated to just the transaction coordinators, because I think that the transaction coordinators are going to change this industry as we know it. And now you think, well, why? They're just the paper pushers. Oh, no. They are not just the paper pushers. They do so much more than that. And let's talk about that. When I started in my real estate journey, January, my wife, Laura, She had transaction coordination experience before I jumped in. She was doing short sale negotiation. She was just, truth be told, she's an absolute badass. I jump in from being a contractor to a wholesaler. And I was going out locking up contracts and doing all the things and leaving my paperwork in the backseat of my truck.
Yeah.
Okay. And my wife would go, hey, I see on your calendar, you did an appointment today. Where's the paperwork? I'm like, oh, it's in my truck. I'll drop it off at title in like a couple of days. She's like, no. You're stressing me out. Let me have that paperwork. Well, before my wife was helping me, I was locking up 10 contracts and 3 of them would actually make it to the end zone. When my wife got involved, I'd lock up 10 contracts and 7 of them would get to the end zone. Well, how is that possible, Pace? Why is a transaction coordinator making all that difference? Well, I'll tell you why. Let's say I go contract with a seller. Seller's in foreclosure. I get a contract with them. Their house is in foreclosure. They're going to lose the house in 10 days. They heard me on Monday that I'm going to stop the foreclosure. I'm going to buy the house. Everything's going to be amazing. And then by Wednesday, they still have other investors calling them, but I, Pace, have moved on physically to talking to the next foreclosure seller. And I'm now trying to convince that next foreclosure seller to sell to me. I have turned my brain off to the contract that I signed on Monday.
Yeah.
So without a transaction coordinator making sure that my contract signed on Monday is constantly communicating to, what will happen is that seller will naturally talk to the wholesaler that calls him on Wednesday and sign a contract behind my back because they are unsure, and they will say some crazy stuff along the lines of, well, I haven't heard from you in 2-day Pace. I thought the whole transaction fell apart. Welcome to real estate. This is what happens, especially with sellers that are in a high amount of pain.
Yeah.
So I go, oh my gosh, that's one example of what a transaction coordinator does. They stay in constant communication with not only your sellers, but then they also stay in constant communication with your buyers. They stay in constant communication with your private money lenders. Okay. Now my wife went above and beyond as a transaction coordinator. And I think the transaction coordinators that go above and beyond, like my wife, Laura, will always be the ones that get hired before the other TCs that are like, well, I'll shuffle your paperwork. But think about this. Here's where my transaction coordinators started opening up my eyes to what is really possible for that position. Okay. And this is where I want to lead you down this path.
Okay.
Transaction coordinators are not just navigating paperwork. They are amplifying my success as a wholesaler, as a real estate investor, etc. So think about that and think about the power that you have as a TC working for some of these investors that are doing a couple of transactions per month. You are amplifying their success by sending them back out in the field, having the comfort and the stability of knowing that you got their back. They need to go get more contracts. Okay, that's a lot. There's a lot of power there. Here's more power. I started realizing that my private money lenders liked my transaction coordinators more than me. Why? Because my transaction coordinators were more available to them, and they would be friendly and sweet and make them laugh and make them feel special and send them monthly updates of like, here's what's going on with the property. And I'm like, damn, my private money lenders like my transaction coordinators more than me. Like they don't block me, but like they'll call me on a Monday. Hey, Pace, just looking for an update. And I go, oh, I'm in an appointment. Call January. She'll give you an update. Then they call you. And then I call them back Wednesday, 2 days later. I'm like, hey, Kathy, my private money lender. Hey, Kathy, I'm just following back up. How did it go? Oh, don't worry about it, Pace. January handled all of it. It's all good. And I'm like, wow, you say that like now I'm bothering you, Kathy. Welcome to being a great transaction coordinator. You become indispensable, irreplaceable in a real estate investor's life because you decide to go above and beyond the call of duty. As you already know this, January, you've been a mother for 20 years, stay-at-home mom, you go above and beyond. You know the drill. So here's where we're heading now that we understand the additional things that you can do as a transaction coordinator. I could go on a list of probably 25 or 30 other things that really powerful TCs do. So along comes Molly Tennant into my life a couple of years ago. And not only does Molly Tennant, my transaction coordinator, transact and coordinate my transactions, she also starts onboarding my portfolios in my portfolio, onboarding my properties into my portfolio. She starts just naturally communicating with my property managers. She starts communicating with people, my insurance company, it's the party after the party. It's the after party, right? Just because I bought a deal and I put it in my portfolio doesn't mean the work is done. And I start looking at this and I go, nobody told you to do that, Molly. Why are you doing that? And she says, because I saw a hole in your operation and I decided to fill it, because the safer the ship is, the less leaks there are, the longer we all float.
Beautiful.
Wow. Transaction coordinators allowed me to go from me to we. They changed the entire paradigm of everything I thought about my life, my business, my real estate investing career, and everything. So here's what ended up happening. I now started looking at my transaction coordinators as the second in command of my business. They're not just paper pushers to me. They are second in command. In fact, I would say a transaction coordinator is one of the most powerful positions in my company that I call an intrapreneur. We've all heard the word intrapreneur. They are the ones that are inside the crazy lunatics businesses, me and other. You do a lot of TC work for other lunatics like me, right? They're the warriors that are out there knocking doors and you're like, I don't know how you do it, but let me I got your back, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And what's interesting is transaction coordinators have been so limited in their thought process of, well, I just do the transaction. Once the deal closes, I move on to the next transaction. And I look at transaction coordinators, I go, what if you learned how to be the intrapreneur and you came to a guy like me who's buying a deal a month or doing a couple of deals a month and you said, I want to be your Molly. I want to be your intrapreneur. I want equity in these deals. If I can help you on the back end of these transactions, upload these into your portfolio, help coordinate with the property management companies, would you be willing to give me equity? And that was the change. The change was, I look at all these visionaries. I'm a visionary. January, you are more of an integrator than you are a visionary. Now you speak like a visionary. You're well-spoken, you're dynamic, you're charismatic. But the way you operate, you wake up in the morning, you're like, how do I solve the problem that other crazy people like Pace created today? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it that your brain doesn't automatically think, how do I go find my own pace to latch myself into and become the intrapreneur to help expand their business, and therefore I get a portion of the equity of these deals?
That's a good question.
Why is it every morning you wake up and you think of, if I do 10 files this month, I make 10 grand? Instead of, if I do 8 files this month, I make 8,000. But then what I also can do, if I start finding the paces of the world and I say, hey, look, you might not be paced today, but with January on your side, you got a fresh start. January, I'm your fresh start. I'm the launch of your new career. I can bring Molly tendencies to your business. Ooh, I gotta write that down. Tendencies. That's too good. That's really freaking too good. So one of the things that we are teaching, okay. Oh, that's so good. Molly's going to love that. Tendencies. Oh my gosh. Thank you for this episode, January. I just came up with a great phrase.
Awesome.
So
My
one
pleasure.
of the things that I talk about with Molly is I look at these women that are so powerful. They're so dynamic. They're like my wife. They fill in all the gaps in every problem that I've ever created in my life. And I'm like, I could not operate my business without these women. So why are these women not smart enough to ask for and position themselves to get equity? The reason being is because nobody's ever told them that that's a possibility. You've emulated and done what other people have laid out for you instead of saying, oh, there's a pathway here. If I provide more value. Now, I'm not saying throw away being a transaction coordinator. I'm saying be a transaction coordinator. Make your today money as transaction coordination and go to real estate investors like me and go, I'll give you a good example. Chris Sheff, a Gator who made like $400,000 the last couple of months. I look at Chris and I go, you are a disaster. Why is he a disaster? Well, because he's on the phone all day long. He's landing deals all day long. He's not in front of a computer organizing his back-end systems and actually staying on top of and following. What if as a transaction coordinator, you go, hey, Chris, I'm going to do transaction coordination for not just you, but also 3 or 4 other clients so that I can make my today income. But if I helped you systematize and work on some of the systems inside of your business, and I basically became your intrapreneur, would you be open to making me a partner? Would you be open to, if I could hit certain metrics and I could actually take this to the next level with you, is there a way that I could get 20% equity of this business? And more importantly, if we start putting deals in the portfolio, I could get 10, 20, 30% of the percent. What do I give away, January? You know what I give away? I give 20% of all my purchases go to my TC team as ownership and equity in my deals.
That's amazing.
It's the way it should be done. Everybody needs a January.
That's right.
So where is the opposition in this thought process? Anything that you're like, ooh, that's scary. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Ooh, that's not a path I want to go down. Ooh, there's too much time. Like, tell me what's the aversion you feel here?
Right. Some of that is, you actually mentioned last week in the podcast that, you're an idea guy, and ideas are your superpower. And that was just an incredible moment for me, because you said, not everybody has all the ideas. And for my entire life, I've thought I'm a broken person because I don't have ideas. But you just like freed me there. I'm like, I don't have to come up with all the ideas. I just have to find the people who have the ideas like you. And so thank you for, helping me overcome one of my limiting beliefs, because I just thought I was broken. I don't have ideas. So even just having the thought, and I've heard you say it before, that Molly and your TC teams, they get 20% equity. I never had that idea. Like, is that even possible? So it was the idea first that I needed to hear that. Now, some of it is time. I am full-time TC right now. So on my files for my clients, I am working, 14 hours a day, and I want a little more time with my family. So I'm hoping that I can get more passive income and a little
here's
bit
an idea.
less active.
Can I be an idea guy for you?
Absolutely.
Why not get one of the newer girls out of the top tier TC community?
Mm-hmm.
Even do a program where you go, hey, top tier TCs, I will let you work on some files with me. I will give you limited responsibilities and come up with some. Here's a thought. Okay. You get 3 or 4 girls in top tier TC that are just getting their start. They watch the course, they're in the community, and now they're looking, I want to touch a deal right now. I'm brand new. I want to touch a deal. Why couldn't these TCs come to January? And you go, all right, I'm going to be quarterback on these deals. I'm going to run 60 to 70% of the very important things. But what I want to do is I'm going to list out 20 things on every file that you can do along the way, like checking in with the title company every morning, checking in with the this every morning. Do the things to pull the information so you're on less phone calls, but at the same time giving people opportunity. You're thinking, well, this is going to cost me money, Pace. Not really. Why couldn't you say, hey, if you stick around and you do a good job, I'll actually let you work on my team. I'll let you get your hands wet, and I'll kind of give you, what's the phrase? Not a journeyman thing.
An apprenticeship?
Apprenticeship. I'll give you an apprenticeship where you come and do 2 files with me for free. It's not free though, by the way. It's you walking them through a transaction and teaching them, here's how all the things that you learn in top tier TC, here's how it applies. And you could come up with some systems and processes of like, I don't want to do these 15 things on the file that do take a lot of time. I have to check on these things, communicate with the clients. If you do these things and you stick with me on 2 or 3 files and I like you, then I'll start paying you $100 per file. Then if you start taking 50% of things off my plate, then I'll pay you $200 a file. And then we can kind of scale up from there. Now they've got an apprenticeship. Now you're thinking, well, Pace, there's people out there that are just as busy as me. They won't be able to find the time. Believe me, there are people in the top tier TC community that are like, I have a husband that works all day long and I don't have a job. I need something like that. And I would 100% come into work for January for my first 2 files for free. By the way, I'm making this up off the top of my head, but I can guarantee you there's 15 girls in top tier TC right now that'll be like, January, I'll come and do the first 2 files for free. You start scaling me up. If I prove myself to you and I start taking things off your plate, oh my gosh. Now January is like, ooh, I just saved 3 hours a day. And I gave somebody an apprenticeship. Maybe I'm losing a little bit of money, not much, but I'm giving people an apprenticeship. There you go. Julie Jones says, yes, there are some in top tier TC. Simple. Okay, cool. So there's the start to navigating and saving yourself 3 hours a day. You take 2 hours a day and you spend more time with your kids. Might be 10 hours total on the week. You go, maybe I'm not working Fridays. All day long, Friday, I'm dead. I'm not alive. Don't bother me on Friday. I don't want to know what's happening. But on Monday through Thursday and even half day Saturdays, you are working 14 hours a day. I don't care how you navigate those extra 10 hours. But what I would do with it is I would say, all right, if I can save 3 hours a day by having a couple of girls as my apprenticeship or apprentices, okay. What I would do is I would save 3 hours a day, 2 hours a day dedicated to my family. An hour a day is my job to connect with people inside of SubTo that are the pace-minded people, the visionaries. And I would interview them. Hey, what are you struggling with? And come up with a common list of all the things that they're struggling with. Have 25 conversations. Have 50 conversations. Hell, January, you just saved yourself an hour a day by having apprentices. Okay.
Apprentices, I think.
Okay. I like it. Okay. See, Jay Holder, great. I love Jay. He's in the top tier TC community. He says, we have 30 applicants for positions right now. So January, reach out to Jay Holder and say, whoever you don't actually bring on, let me communicate with them. This is why we have a community of people to share things with each other, right?
Absolutely.
So, boom, there you go. There's the solution to 3 hours a day. Now, it's going to suck for 2 or 3 weeks. There's going to be a few people that don't work out. You're going to feel aggravated and go, oh my gosh, this person, how do they even tie their shoes in the morning? Believe me, we've all been there. We know. Guess what? You just find 2 more people. You set upfront conversations of like, hey, if you can't do these things in 2 weeks, I'll let you know really quick. No harm, no foul. I just need to find 2 people that can save me 3 hours a day and are willing to be apprentices, are willing to be apprentices and save me 3 hours a day. That's my goal. Cool.
Yeah.
30 days later, you've saved yourself some time. It's going to take you some time, but January, guess what? Sure. You've been putting a lot of time and energy in, so it's time to dedicate it and allocate it a little bit differently.
Yeah, definitely.
30 days later, you found 2 people. They're saving you 3 hours a day. You now go, okay, now I'm going to start looking for the paces of the world. And all I'm going to do for another 30 days with the extra hour of time I have a day is I'm going to interview all the visionaries in the SubTo and Gator community that are out there making deals happen and say, hey, I'm training underneath Molly. I'm learning how to be an entrepreneur. I want to bring value to your company, and I want to see how I can help you double your revenue. Not by you being on the phones, not by you cold calling, not by you doing anything but helping these knuckleheads get organized. Do you think Molly gets on the phone with my sellers? Sometimes as a TC, but she lets me go be the crazy person that lands businesses I'm buying in RV parks and mobile home parks and all of those things. If you can free a visionary from the thought processes of paperwork and organization, those men, typically they're men, not all of them, but there's 20% of them are women. Most of them are men, will go out there and double, triple, and quadruple their income because of you. So I look at that and I go, find the one that you resonate with and say, how can I bring an hour of value to you over the next 30 days? And let's see how it goes. I'll see if some of the tasks that you need, I can do. What do they say? They say, mess around and find out.
Yeah.
You got to mess around and find out, right? Molly came to me 2 years ago, 2 years and 3 months ago, not knowing anything she knows today. She was a real estate agent, but she wasn't a TC. She was actually running somebody's education business, and that person ended up passing away, and it posed a really great opportunity for me. She came on board. She's like, what's subject to? What's seller finance? What's this? What's that? Boom, 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 boom. Now she teaches an entire community of girls how to do the same thing. Yeah. It doesn't take that much time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of unknowns, isn't there?
Definitely. Yeah.
Are you afraid of unknowns?
A little bit. I know that some of my own limiting thoughts come in.
Like
So
what?
like, oh my goodness, can I do it?
January,
But
I can tell you just by having limited conversations and interactions with you, the way that you flow through and let me talk and do all this stuff, and you nod and you're taking notes and all that kind of stuff, I can tell you that your intelligence and your emotional intelligence is very high. Okay. You are in the 1% of the people on this planet. 1%. Listen to me right now. Nobody's maybe ever said this to you. You are in the 1% of earners, thinkers, and doers on this planet. It is time for you to be that person. For some reason, the people you've been around, your mom, your dad, people you go to church with, whatever it is that you've been around, those people make you feel like you are on their level. You are not. I'm sorry to say this, but you have a higher calling in life than just saying, I'm a transaction coordinator. It's just maybe nobody's said this to you other than your inner voice. You are smart. You are dynamic. You are eloquent. You are emotionally intelligent. And I promise you, you are the missing piece and the answer to somebody's freaking prayer that is a personality like me.
thank you.
I would die to have you when I was just starting. Die.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And the thing is, you're not even doing the favor for yourself. There is somebody out there right now, and I can guarantee you, okay, look at this. Other people are feeling the same way. They're like, hey, you're speaking to me. I promise you, there are people here that are like, oh my gosh, I need a January. In fact, guys, if you're like, I need a January right now, and you can feel her energy, tell me that in the side chat. Say, I need a January. Victoria's like, Pace, if you ever need help, let me know. Well, Victoria, here's the challenge with me now. I've now scaled. Why? I wonder why. How did I scale? Because of my January. I scaled January. I have made, last year, I bought $167 million in real estate. The year before that, I bought $100 million in real estate. The year before that, I bought $20 million in real estate.
Wow.
What's the difference, January?
Molly,
January.
you had somebody setting you up for success and helping
I
you.
had somebody caring about me so that we could become a we. And what happened is, look at this. I need a January. I need a January. I'll be messaging you January. I need a January. I could use a January. Certainly. Oh my gosh. Indeed. I need a January. I definitely need a January. I need a January. Oh my gosh. Me, thankfully, I have a Rinda, and I love Rinda. She's amazing. I've done TC.
Rinda.
She's so great. Do you now see that the transaction coordination, the top tier TC community is never built to just be TCs?
Yeah.
Being a TC is so you can pay your today bills, but you really need to understand that your natural demeanor, who you were born as, your ability to mother children, think about the stuff you deal with as a stay-at-home mom that also does homeschooling. Are you kidding me? You are ripe for babysitting idiots like me. That's basically what you do. Now it's time for you to take the 20 years of experience you have in professional babysitting and professionally babysit visionaries like myself.
Awesome. Awesome.
If I came to you January and I had a very clear vision, here's the challenge with a lot of visionaries. Okay. I'm a practiced visionary.
Mm-hmm.
I have a clear vision. I whiteboard it. I give 2 hours of here's where we're going. Here's why we're doing it. Here's how it impacts everybody here. Here's the next 3 months. Then here's the next 6 months. If we do those next 3 months, if you had a visionary like that, think about that. Hey, January, this year, we're going to have a slow growth because we're going to build systems and processes. But what's going to happen is you're going to come on my team. And what's happening right now is I have a standard process, or I have a standard amount of deals I'm doing without January.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm doing right now is 2 or 3 deals. If I could get rid of the communication on the back end,
Mm-hmm.
if I could get rid of the onboarding in my portfolio and communication with the insurance companies and doing all of that kind of stuff, updating the private money lender list of upcoming deals that we have in the pipeline so that they can deploy capital into those deals. If I could offload that,
yeah,
I could bring in 6 deals a month. And for those 3 deals a month extra that you help me bring in, I will cut you in on ownership of those 3 deals. Do we have a deal? Would you do that with me?
That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty simple.
Mhm.
So as a visionary, I don't need to give up all of my ownership of the deals I'm already doing. I just need to say, January, with you, if we can go from 3 to 6, then I'll make sure you're cut in on deal 4, deal 5, and deal 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, here's the thing, January. Here's what I want you to learn. I want you to learn this year. I want you to read 3 books on delegation. I want you to read 3 books on leadership. And I want you to identify where you are the weakest. And we are going to have you hire somebody underneath you to take even more stuff off your plate by the end of this next 12-month calendar year. Are you cool with that?
I can do that.
Perfect. Okay. Now, at the end of that calendar year, now I will feel comfortable knowing that I can go from 6 deals to 9 deals a month. And I can wholesale some of these so we can get some cash coming in. We can also onboard 1 or 2 of these deals per month in the portfolio. And again, as we scale this, I will not only give you the deal access to equity on deal 4, 5, and 6, but I'll give you access to equity on 6. Wait, what is that? 7, 8, 9, and potentially 10, if we can get that high. Is that a clear enough? That's not a clear enough vision. That's a vague kind of high level vision. Now I would go, all right, here's the things that I want to do. Here's the type of deals I want to do. Here's the buy box. Here's where the deals are coming from. I need to go and do these things because I'm magical at those things.
Mhm.
January, I have meetings with Molly frequently, probably once a month. And what we will do is it's like a PACE magic meeting. And what it is these are the 25 things PACE should be doing. These are the 100 things PACE should not be doing. And Molly's job is go do those 25 things because I'm not the idea person. I'm not the person that's going to go and land the deals and do the charismatic stuff and raise the capital and do all of these things. You go raise the capital. You go get the deals. You go build the JV relationships. And I will make sure they're nurtured, taken care of, communicated to, etc. And I'll take care of the castle while you go fight the demons.
Awesome. Yeah.
Could you do that?
I could do that.
Okay. It sounds a lot easier than it is.
Definitely.
It will be harder than you think, take longer than you think, but it will be worth twice as much as you think.
Yes.
Now, you've been doing transaction coordination for how long?
10 months.
Okay. Were you not a TC before you came into our community?
No. Are
you kidding me?
Yeah. No, I saw the YouTube avatar video. I joined SubTo and I was like, well, I'm a TC. So I went and dove straight into TC right away.
How freaking dope is that? Thank you for that. I forget that avatar video is so special to me because I have friends that criticize me and they're like, you make it too complex and you break it down too much. You give people too many passes. I'm like, no, I care too much. I identified these individual personality types that actually make money in this industry. What the heck are you talking about? It is beneficial. Gosh, dang it. Thank you so much. Okay. So TC for 10 months.
Yes.
What were you doing to make money before that?
I wasn't. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was very frugal, learning how to, we live on a small hobby farm.
Weren't making money before this.
No. This is my first job.
You learned how to be a TC, and now you get to work from home, be with your kids, do homeschooling, and make money, and be in real estate, and understand all these terms I'm talking about. Look what you did in 10 freaking months.
I know. I am amazed at my life a year ago to my life now. Completely turned around.
I am so proud of you.
Completely different.
I am so freaking proud of you.
Thank you.
Are you proud of yourself? That is amazing.
I am. I am.
And you know what's even cooler is your kids. Like, think about what you've done for your kids, the blueprint you're giving your kids. Like, you're not just a stay-at-home mom, dude. You know real estate. You are helping people close deals, and you are helping other people put stuff in their portfolio right now. A matter of 10 months ago, you wouldn't have been able to have this conversation.
That's right.
People go to college for 6 years that don't know as much stuff as you.
Yeah. And it's amazing. It's truly amazing. My kids are I'm ready for the kids program because my kids are going to be, going through that program for sure.
January, you made my whole night.
Oh, thank you, Pace.
Here's what I love about this. Okay. I get a text message from Shelly. Did you hear about this text message I got from Shelly, one of my TCs?
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think I've heard.
Think about this. Okay. This is one of the most special text messages I've received. And it kind of reminds me of your situation, but I got this text message a couple of days ago. And it came from Shelly. She's one of my TCs. She texted me and Molly together. She says, January 11th, she knew I was having a hard day. I was going through a partnership transition type of thing. Really, really hard thing. She said, Pace, I was going to take a part-time job as a lunch lady so I could make some money while my babies were in preschool. But then this job was offered to me. To say this past year has changed my life is a complete understatement. This opportunity, this team, this community has opened my eyes to possibility, hope, and my own self-worth. I am so grateful today. I'm surrounded by people who see more value in me than I see in myself, and I am constantly pushed to be a better version of me. Thank you for making this possible and taking a chance on me. Trade all my wealth, trade all my properties for that one text message when I die. When I'm laying down in my grave, I'm going to be holding my cell phone and I'm going to read that freaking text message the second before I die. And I can say my whole entire life was worth it because of that one freaking text message.
There are so many of us that feel that same way though about you, Pace, because
but you took the action, January.
Definitely. But you offered me the gift.
Dude, I'm going to be so mad at you right now. If you, in a year from now, you're not having a different conversation of saying, Pace, I'm now an entrepreneur in somebody else's business and I'm helping the wheels of their business roll forward. And in turn, I'm getting equity in these properties.
I'm on it. I will be working and learning and starting with the books about delegation because I don't know how to delegate.
do you want me to give you a couple?
Yes, please.
Okay. I want you to read a book called Who, Not How.
Okay.
Okay. And then I want you to read, some John Maxwell stuff on leadership. He's the greatest leadership coach ever. I wouldn't overconsume the content, by the way.
Okay.
Here's one of the next things I would do. So inside the top tier TC community, we have a merit badge that's releasing in Q3 of this year called the Intrapreneur badge.
Mm.
So Molly is actually taking this whole concept and this vision of mine of showing people what a Molly or what a January or what a Renda can do for somebody. Now, I don't think Rinda is leveraging herself as much as she should be, to be perfectly honest. I don't think you are either. And I think part of that is that you'll do jobs here and there for TC as a TC, but you're not looking at the individual you're doing the work for and saying, hey, tell me more about your business. Tell me more about what's going on. You hire me once a month. You hire me every other month. You hire me once every 3 months. How can I help you? Hire me every week. What do you need? Do you see the difference there? And that's the problem with a lot of the old ways of being a TC is that you're like, okay, I'm going to wait for the files to come to me.
Right.
Ask the Paces of the world. What do you need from me in order to hire me every single week? I want to see a file every single week. What do you need? Okay. And then in the top tier TC community, the merit badge, Molly's going to be teaching for 12 weeks is the Intrapreneur badge. She's going to identify and show you all the things she does for me. She'll show you how she's onboarding, communicating and running my Slack channels, talking to my insurance broker, talking to my this, talking to my that. She is my partner.
Yeah.
And for that, she not only gets a salary now, January, now you can have a conversation around salary. You can have a conversation around equity. You can have a conversation of profit share. You can have a conversation around a lot of things because you understand the business. Molly showing you the back end of my business will give you pathways and ideas you did not even know existed.
Wow. I am going to be taking that badge.
There's this, I'll give you a really clear example of this. Okay. So the other day, somebody's coming to me there. I've never done a deal before. I don't even know where deals come from. It seems really, really hard to get a deal. And that's their like thing in their brain. They're stuck. And I'm like, okay, you've obviously never been shown where deals come from. If I showed you one website that just had all these like deals on one map, would you just laugh at yourself that you even said that it's hard to find a deal? And be like, that they're like, that doesn't exist. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. Let me show you something. I'll actually pull this up right here.
All right.
You haven't seen this yet. And so here's how this works. Your mind is trying to create something in your own mind, but until you actually see the thing, you don't know what it looks like that I'm going to show you. And you don't know what this thing is. You're just hearing a bunch of words. But human beings are so barbaric and caveman-like that we're waiting. You need me to show you the caveman picture of exactly what this is I'm talking about. Okay. So in this conversation, I said, watch how easy it is for me to show you where deals come from. It's really not that hard. And this person's like, oh my gosh, as I showed this to them, they're like, it can't be that simple. Okay. Let me show you a couple of things. So let's go to Tempe code violations map. Okay. Live code violation map, a city of Tempe. By the way, every county, every city has this exact same thing. So when somebody says to me, hey, Pace, I've never seen where oh my gosh, guys, do you think maybe there's code violations where people are losing their houses because the city's taking them or finding them because they have let's click on this. There's no way. There's no possible way. Oh my gosh, the city would actually tell me what day the violation is and what the actual problem is. Lack of maintenance, dead trees, bushes, shrubs. Okay, there's no way that every one of these has descriptions. Oh my gosh, they do. A wall or fence deteriorated in appearance of which constitutes a hazard. Okay, it's a nuisance. Okay, that's probably not a big deal. But as you go through these, you will see people who are common and repeat offenders. Now you know what that looks like that I'm talking about. And this person, they go, oh my gosh, I can never unsee this ever again. And I'm like, okay, well, let me show you another thing. Other people will say, that I don't think seller finance deals are that abundant. I'm like, okay, really? You really think that? Okay, let's go to Crexy.com. And let's just type in Crexy.com. Let's go to all types. Let's go owner finance. You're telling me that I can't buy a hotel on seller finance right now, another hotel on seller finance. You can't tell me I can't just scroll through the whole entire country and I can buy whole on hotels, industrial buildings, gas stations, all of these things on creative finance. Now you will never unsee this in your life.
Definitely.
Oh, Pace, well, that's only one website. Okay, that's only one website. How about landwatch.com? You're telling me that landwatch.com, they're going to have, okay, United States. Let's just go United States. You see what this says right here? Owner financing land for sale, 13,565 listings in the country. You can buy ranches. You can buy beautiful, beautiful homes on seller finance. You can buy apartment buildings. We bought an RV park on here just a couple of months ago. You can buy land. You can build properties. You can do all sorts of stuff on this. You just have to filter out what you want. Thousands and thousands and thousands of opportunities. Now you see the thing and you can never unsee the thing.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing when you see the back end of my business. Once you see the back end of my business and you see the simplicity and how it's organized, you go, oh my gosh, I see it. I can recreate it.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to learn. You need to learn that from Molly. You need to see how that looks so you can go to other people and go, hey, I've been trained on how Pace's back end of his system works, so I can bring the same value to you. See, January, I can teach this to the SubTo students and the Gators. I'm going to tell you something. It's impossible for them to apply anything that I teach them because they're idiots like me. They are visionaries. They are not meant to go into Slack and a Monday board. They're not meant to build systems and processes. They're not meant to lead and do all of these things on the back end. They're meant to go kill the demons out in the field. You are meant to stand inside the castle and protect the castle.
Yeah.
And the visionaries out there are begging you to learn this stuff, begging you. And if you could say, hey guys, I've been trained by Molly. I know how this works. I know what the back end looks like. And more importantly, I can go to Molly anytime I want and ask questions about how are you guys doing this? And how are you solving that? And what's going on here? And how are you amplifying this? And January, you've never hired anybody in your life, have you?
No.
How would that feel to be able to say that somebody else relies on you on a daily basis for the meals that their family eats at their house?
Whew, heavy.
It's heavy. The heaviest burden I've ever had in my life, January, was the first time I ever hired my first employee.
Wow.
Now I have 600 of them.
Wow.
I didn't just take one deep breath when I hired an employee. I stayed up all night long thinking, oh my gosh, what if I fail? What if this happens? What if this, and this? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you're never going to scale if you try and do this on your own. You have to delegate to somebody else at some point, and somebody else has to delegate to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
January, making $20,000 a month in passive income, maybe $30,000 a month in passive income. Who does January have to become in order to deserve $30,000 a month in passive income?
I have to become a delegating genius and just an entrepreneur.
You have to become an entrepreneur. You have to challenge yourself. You have to step into uncomfortable situations. Everything that you have accomplished in your life required you to take a deep breath right before you did it and go, do I really want to do this? Dear God, angels, heaven, do I really want to do this thing? Right? Even joining the SubTo community, was that not a big investment on your part of like, do I believe this is going to help me out?
Yeah.
Did it stress you out when you joined?
A little bit.
Okay. I hope it did. That means you cared.
Yeah.
And now here you are. This is the most beautiful thing about anything I could say is that today you stand here, not in having an absence of problems. You stand here with new problems that you could not have even thought of a year ago.
Definitely.
In a year from now, guess what? It's going to be the same exact thing. You will still have problems. They will be more significant, yet you will be stronger to overcome them, right?
Yes.
Is that not all you want in life, is just to become stronger and more capable?
Absolutely. I want to get better every day.
Victoria says the live is probably more scary than hiring people. Are you scared? Are you scared to be on this live with me? Has this been stressful or has it been okay?
It's so good. It's scary, exciting.
Good. And I can tell you right now, even me, January, I stress out all the time. I wake up in the early mornings, anxious, anxiety, stressed out. Why? Is it because I think everything's going to fall apart and the world's going to end and all of those things? Yeah, actually, sometimes I do. I think, wow, I could lose it all. What if I do something wrong? That lizard is so loud in my brain, that prehistoric lizard that's trying to save me from making mistakes. It lives in all of our brains. I just have to identify that that is a common thing that we all deal with. Yeah. But then I also identify, I have to become a completely different person. I was telling my team this morning, they were like, hey, we got to make an advertisement for one of our businesses. Nothing to do with like the coaching stuff or anything. It was an advertisement for a different business that we own, a cold calling company. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there rehearsing my thing. They're like, aren't you like already good at this? And I go, I don't want to be good. I don't want to be as good as I was yesterday. I want to be better tomorrow. I want to be stressed out about this line that I have to deliver. I need to be stressed out about this thing. I need to know that I care. It never goes away. The stress never goes away. In fact, I live differently because I understand the stress never goes away. When the stress goes away and everything's perfect, it means I'm in my comfort zone. And that is the moment I should be scared. Yeah. So do you have at least a little bit of structure to know what to do and where to go?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Can I give you like a little bit more step by step? We'll rehearse this a little bit for a second. Okay.
Okay.
First thing I would do, go into the community and say, hey, I'm looking for apprentices. Make sure they are only top tier TCs. I don't want to be amplifying people who are not top tier TCs. I want to make sure that this whole entire industry understands, hey guys, you got to make sure you're certified and you're learning underneath Molly. Find some girls that are saying, hey, I've gone through the coaching. I've gone through the course. I know what that looks like. And I now am ready to do some files with you, January. And I am okay doing my first couple of files with you for free because I know you're going to be teaching me on live deals, which is invaluable. Cool.
Yeah.
You bring a couple girls on, one of them won't work out. It'll be a personality thing. It'll be something that rubs you the wrong way. That's perfectly fine. Welcome to life. Welcome to running a business. You then tell the next girl, you tell the girl that actually works out, or maybe both of them don't work out, and you find 2 new people and you're not starting from scratch, by the way, if those 2 girls don't work out. You're starting from now a new position of understanding of, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that better. I now know a little bit more of what I'm looking for because those 2 girls didn't work out. I gave them virtual hugs. I released them with love. It obviously didn't work out. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to find 2 girls. One of them won't work out. So 3 out of 4 girls will not work out. Understand that, expect that, and even tell them that up front, right? Upfront conversations are very, very important. Yes. Hey, I'm going to bring a couple of girls on, give them some opportunities. And I don't know that everybody will work out. I'm learning too, right? Ask them for some grace. I'm learning how to delegate. I'm learning how to do this as well. Okay, cool. So that one girl works out. For the next 30 days, you're going to be training her on how to help save you 3 hours a day. After that 30 days, you feel comfortable with her delegating some of the minor tasks on some of your files. I now want you to then start interviewing some visionaries in our community. This is why I built a community of multiple different types of personalities and multiple different types of avatars that we all benefit from each other, so that you go, oh, as a TC, I need to find visionaries. I'm so glad they're in my community with me and they're identifying themselves, so I can easily go to them and say, hey, this month I want to interview 30 visionaries. And guess what's going to happen? The first 10, you won't even know what to ask them.
Right.
Say, what does your business look like? What do you need help with? If I magically was like your fairy godmother and I came to the table with a magic wand and I could solve multiple problems in your business right now, what would those things be? I'm just making up questions on the spot, by the way.
Right.
What do you need to do more of as a visionary to bring more deals to the table? 2 times more deals, 3 times more deals. What do you need to do? And what is keeping you from doing that? Again, making up questions for you. I'm giving you a little bit of an alley-oop. Okay.
Yeah.
So they answer. And by the 10th person you talk to, guess what you're going to do? Because you're smart. You're going to have crafted 5 or 6 more questions that you could ask the people 11 through 20. And then on 20 through 30, you're finally going to figure out your interview process. And you'll now figure out so many things about yourself, how to communicate with these stupid visionaries. I'm one of those visionaries. So by the way, I'm not criticizing visionaries. I am one of them. We have superpowers that integrators don't have and vice versa.
Yeah.
So you'll have interviewed 30 of them. And you'll go, man, I know exactly who I want to go after. This person, all they want to do is fix and flip for their whole life. This person over here is like, I really want to do 3 wholesale deals, 1 buy and hold, 3 wholesale deals, 1 buy and hold. That person seems like somebody I can really attach my caboose to their train, and that we could ride the same track together. And I could be the thing carrying the coal for them, that they could keep shoveling coal into their engine, and we could keep building this train and keep going further. They want to buy and hold. So do I, but I don't want to be the person on the phone and raising the money and doing the thing, but I can be the person on the back end, bringing up the rear end of the train.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of conversations I don't know where these conversations are going to go.
Right.
But here's what I envision. In 4 months, because everything takes time, takes longer than you think, requires more work than you think every single time. Okay. Madison says, I love having January on our finish line TC team. Perfect. That's great. So here's what I would be doing is I would say in 4 months, you know what I would be doing? In 4 months, here's what I think what success looks like. And I want you to write this down for yourself. Is in 4 months, 5 months. Now I'm a visionary, so I can be ambiguous. Integrators are like, wait, what is it? 4 or 5 months? In my mind,
I need 4 months, 2 weeks, 5 days, 6 hours.
Yeah. If you need that, then write that down. But what I would do is say, what does success look like for the first step of this journey for January? What does success look like? I'm going to make this up. Okay. Success looks like having an apprentice that helps save me 3 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
giving myself an extra hour a day to find ways to serve a visionary who I have identified as somebody I want to invest my time and energy into. And that would then complete step number 1.
Okay.
That's all you have to accomplish in 3-4 months, 5 months, whatever. Don't kill yourself over it. That's if you accomplish that. Hell, January, if you accomplish that by the end of the year, that would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you accomplish that in 4 months and you send me another message, you go, hey, Pace, January here. I've accomplished phase number 2 or phase number 1. I'm ready for phase number 2. I'm happy to give you that information. But by that time, Molly will have the Intrapreneur badge out and you can now start bringing high level value to this individual by saying, hey, let me build these things up for you. Now, most of the stuff that Molly does for me is free. Doesn't cost me any money. Now, she's on salary and she does get a percentage of my stuff. Imagine what somebody should be paying you if they're not paying you a salary. Like our team is getting 20% of my acquisitions, 20% plus a significant salary. I think a visionary can easily pay you 25, 30% of the back end of a deal if you are running the business. In fact, if you were a total badass, I think there's a possibility that there's visionaries like me that say, if you're willing to not take a paycheck, like a salaried paycheck, and you're willing to do your TC work over here to pay your bills, but then do these things for me over here for no paycheck, I'll give you 40% of the equity.
Wow.
But if you're like, well, I'm in a situation where I want to slow down on some of my TC work so I can allocate more time to you, I would love to have a $2,500 a month paycheck or a $3,500 a month paycheck or whatever that looks like to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to take a smaller paycheck to allocate some time away from my TC business. But I'm also okay with not taking 40%. I'll take 22% or 25% or 18%. This is where challenges arise for integrators. They're like, wait, I got to stop and figure out how to negotiate this. Yes, you are.
Right.
You're going to have to figure out how to negotiate that and have that conversation. Well, Pace, what is the perfect structure? I don't know. What's the name of the person you finally identified as the visionary that you want to invest in? Oh, I don't know that person yet. Perfect. Then we don't know how to structure the deal. We got to find that person and then I can help you out.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. That's just like laid down some track that is, so helpful. Like I said, you're the idea guy. I have not been, this is all like, I'm kind of speechless here because you just put out this amazing table of a buffet and it's all things that I've never conceived of before for myself. So thank you.
Yes. Now, Ricky Hines says, where is the Cody Barton of the world? Guys, my business and my life has expanded so much that Cody Barton has been, he's in a different realm. He's in charge of 4 other businesses I own. So he is my Molly over there. I also have a Josiah that runs 5 other businesses for me, and I have a Molly. They are all on the same level in terms of operating. They are all on the same level of ownership and splits and income and all that kind of stuff. They just run different businesses. So at some point, some of the visionaries like me will be able to find multiple integrators. This also hurts some integrators' feelings because they're like, man, those visionaries move so fast. They have a new idea all the time. And oh my gosh, now I'm over here managing the back end. Yes. Welcome to, have you ever read Rocket Fuel, by the way, January?
I have not finished it. I've started it.
Okay. Before you read any other book, I would read Rocket Fuel and read it all the way through.
Okay.
And understand that obviously you are the integrator in this situation. And I would read it from the standpoint of understanding how visionaries operate and the phases that the visionaries go through. At some point, the business should not need the visionary to do the same things they're doing for the first 2 years. The visionary should actually take a little bit of a hiatus and get the heck out of the way so that the integrator can actually do the things that they need to do to actually scale the business. And that is another level of, oh my gosh, I'm January. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 20 years and you just told me I have to go scale a business. Oh my gosh, you're stressing me out. That's a whole nother level of skills that you're not ready for yet. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get there. I'll learn how.
Yes, you will. I believe in you. I'm super proud of you. I'm so impressed by you. And man, your kids are going to be so proud of you too. Like watching mama become a real estate investor and earn passive income for your family.
Yes. Yes. So proud of my kids. I've got one that's leaving in a week for a study abroad in Spain for 6 months. So
wow.
We've got so many big changes happening in our lives, and this is just another one of them. So
good.
It's just our season of growth right now.
I love it. Well, I think you have a good game plan. You're obviously part of the community, so you know where to go and get help, and you have the right people. I'm not telling you to aimlessly go out and find these people. I've found them for you and brought them all together in one happy family that we call our community. And you can have these awesome conversations with people. And guess what? There's 450 people that are listening right now, and 20 or 30 of them are going to talk to you. And by the way, a lot of people are like, this was one of my favorite episodes today.
Awesome.
So think about you reaching out. Now, here's what I would do. Guys, last week I challenged everybody. I said, hey, if you guys are one of the students and you want me to break you down individually, like look at January. She joined the community, started making money. She joined a team. She started doing deals inside the community. She's learned a tremendous amount about real estate. Obviously, has the community been life-changing for you, January?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes.
Cool. And the best part about it is that you now have new problems today you didn't even know were possible. If that was like the greatest gift I could give you, you're asking different questions, you're thinking different thought processes. Oh my gosh, what an amazing thing.
Yes.
If you are a student listening to this episode today, DM me on Instagram and tell me this is the problem I'm struggling with. And while I do 20 hours of Zooms with the community every week, and we have 39 Zooms inside of SubTo every single week, sometimes it's nice to just be picked on individually. Get a little bit of a specific hour one-on-one attention. And if you feel that you need that and you have a specific thing you want to talk to me about, January was so awesome. She sends me a DM and she goes, this is the thing I'm struggling with. I want a little bit of attention on. Will you help me? And I said, absolutely. It'll provide a lot of value to not only our community, but to other people out there in the free world, in our free Facebook group and other places. So before we wrap up, here's what I would tell you guys. We have the Elephant Challenge coming up this week. If you are listening to this in 5 years in the future, we will be doing the Elephant Challenge still. So go to elephantchallenge.info. It is a free challenge. We do this free challenge in the free Facebook group every single month. Why do we do this? Well, I have the SubTo students, the Gators, and the top tier TCs form teams and help people in the free Facebook group go out and submit letters of intent and do deals. And we teach people in the free Facebook group how to go out and do deals. I want our students to become leaders in the industry, and the Elephant Challenge is my way of putting them in a position of leading the industry and providing free value to the industry. So go to elephantchallenge.info. We'll see you guys on that live this coming week. The other thing I want you guys to understand and know is please get your ticket for Squat Up Summit. Go to squatupsummit.com. We'll see you guys there in April 23rd, 24th, 25th in Orlando. We already have, I think, 1,100 community members have bought their tickets. There will be close to 3,000 people at this event. It will be a magical place for you to meet your friends, connect, have a family reunion with all the people in our community, and maybe even find your next business partner, or maybe find your next January, maybe find your next pace if that's what you're looking for. You don't want a pace in your life. We're crazy. Any parting words, January?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm getting all choked up over here. You, with this community, have really changed the trajectory of my family and the opportunities that are open to us. I started with an Elephant Challenge. Actually, it was, I almost quit the Elephant Challenge because we went into it and I thought, boy, this is going to be awesome. Single family, going to show us how to get a deal. And you said, no, we're going to do multifamily. But I got involved with a team, and that team full of SubTo students, members, family members now. And they showed me truly what the SubTo community was all about. And that was what gave me the real impetus to come in and say, you know what, I could probably watch YouTube videos for years, or I could just join the SubTo community and cut that time short so quickly, because the Elephant Challenge showed me the power of this community. Thank you for this community. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just as much a member of this community as anybody else. I built it for me in a lot of ways. I'm very selfish. I bought $100 million in real estate with people in our community last year. So the more successful we all become, the more my Januaries can own in real estate. I'm trying to buy real estate so that my Januaries can have passive income in their lives in retirement accounts. The best retirement account for my Januaries, which is my Molly's and my Allisons and Heidi's, et cetera, is for me to have successful students, for me to do successful deals with, so that we can have successful portfolios with successful passive income. Yes. And we work really hard to put this together. And I am so grateful for the people that take action and they believe in themselves and they know, hey, if I invest in myself, I join this community. And not only that, but I also help people in this community, and I carry the torch, the spirit that this community is all about. And January, you know how many friends you have in the side chat? This whole entire time, people have been like, I love January. She's the best. Oh my gosh.
I connect in the Facebook group so much. I probably connect with like 10 new students every week. I'm just constantly having calls and, hey, let's get to know each other. So I love this family.
Thank you. January, you let me know when you're ready for more. Molly, I'll make sure I forward this episode to Molly so she can watch it. And really, when we do the Intrapreneur badge, I can have her give you a little bit of special attention on this so we can utilize you as a good example. And awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And January, let me know when you're ready for phase 2.
I'll let you know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Guys, what a great episode. Thank you so much. If you guys are in the community, SubTo, Gator, or Top Tier TC, send me a DM. I'd love to give you a little bit of one-on-one action on next week's episode of Get Creative. I love dissecting people's individual situations and mindsets and giving them very specific action items going forward. I'd love to be giving you a little bit of love on that. So send me a DM, let me know what you need, and I'll do a one-on-one with one of the students next week. Now, again, I'm not just doing one-on-ones, obviously on an open podcast. Inside of our community, we do 39 Zooms a week inside of SubTo. I run typically 3 to 5 of them per week. I also we do like 9 episodes in Gator community every single week that are all private. And of course, I run 2 or 3 of those as well. And so there's a lot of private training, but just on Get Creative, I'd like to do, a little bit more dissecting for the whole entire world and put people on a pedestal and show them that, man, I think the coolest thing about January is she took action and 10 months later, she's not the same person. It's one of the coolest freaking things ever. So guys, thank you so much. Send me a DM and let me know what you need. If you guys are in the community, let me know what you need so I can give you a one-on-one next week. We'll see you guys later. Don't forget to go to squadupsummit.com to get your ticket to Squad Up Summit. And again, we'll see you next week.